YouTube. Matt M. Roy back again. Well, this is another installment of the Walking Vlogger, A Quest for Fitness. Hasn't been a while, I know, but the weather around here has just been terrible. And I'm getting this one in before it snows. We're expecting 6 to 12 inches of snow this evening. It's going to start off as rain and then go to snow. But by tomorrow around noon, we're supposed to have a foot of snow on the ground. That's right, guys. So it's probably going to be the last one I'll be able to do for a while, but I promise as soon as the weather gets better, we're going to start doing this again on a regular basis. All right. So as you might be able to see behind me, we did get some snow last night. We had about 2 inches. And if you look over here on the ground, it's pretty much all melted. We wound up getting up to 42 degrees today, so that was pretty nice. The weather, what'd you say it is right now? Maybe about 40, 44?
Probably.
Yeah, something around. I didn't bother looking at the car, but I tell you, I'm really getting tired of this. I've been getting cabin fever because, getting stuck in the house when it snows is no fun. So hopefully this is going to be our last bout for this year. Oh yeah, Mom's just pointing. I don't know if you guys can see this, but somebody made a snowman. Must have did that yesterday. That is nice. I'm surprised it didn't melt, but when you... Oh, that's cool. And the sticks for arms. When you pack the snow together like that, you'll usually stay for a while. Sometimes even if you add a little bit of salt, it will. But not too much to talk about today. As you guys know, I did get that new Dell laptop. It's doing pretty good. I just finished installing all my programs on it. It is still a little bit slow. I think for that I might wind up going with an SSD, but it's not going to be for a while. I actually upgraded the 250 gig hard drive to a 320 gig that came out of a client's old system. The drive itself is in really good shape. I ran Speed Fan. I ran the hard drive test on there and it came up just fine. I'll probably run DFT on it later if I get a chance. As you can hear, we got a jet in the background. I'm really pleased with it so far. The graphics are excellent. For those of you that don't know much about it, it's a Dell Latitude E6510 from late 2010 or early 2011. It's got the 4 gigs of RAM, the 320 gig hard drive. The one thing I'm a little disappointed with it, though, is I thought it had a webcam. It has the slot for one, but apparently this model, they chose not to get it. Probably since it was a business class system for security purposes, they decided to not actually put it in. But, yeah, that's okay. If I want to talk to somebody on Skype, I'll use either my laptop or my cell phone. Check this out, guys. Somebody's got an old Harvest Gold, either a refrigerator or a freezer. Probably at this point going to the scrap heap. My grandmother, the one that passed away a few months ago, I remember years ago when I was probably about 5 or 6 years old, her whole kitchen was in that Harvest Gold. She had that for a while too. Man, that was such the in color from between the 70s and 80s. But after that, she went to like an avocado green. That was pretty much when I was in my teenage years. And then finally, because they never had the money to get anything brand new, so all these stoves she had were secondhand, or they bought it from a secondhand shop, or they were given to her. So they would maybe only last 3, 4, 5 years. But finally, after the last maybe 10 years or so, they had enough money to get new stoves. So she's got something fairly modern right now. Oh man, good times. I remember going up there when I was a kid. I know you guys have seen videos of that town before. It's just the ideal place to walk. I mean, it's a little village. They have the most beautiful houses. And even though there are mountains all around you, the village of Green itself is fairly flat. So I mean, I remember when I was young, I would walk there for 2, 3 hours. Wouldn't even get tired, walk all around the town. There were a lot of antique stores back in the 90s there. At one time, I think in that little town, I remember 5 or 6 antique stores. There was one right in the middle of town. Actually, there were 2 right in the middle of town. There was one on the outskirts as you were going down into the village. And there were two that were made out of like converted garages and barns. And they had really, really nice stuff because the people from New York City would actually vacation there, you know, whenever, summer, winter, whenever they had time off, and they would bring their antiques up there. I remember getting a lot of, I used to be into collecting old-fashioned radios. I would say probably 9 out of the, about 18, I'd say at least half of them I got from the antique stores up there. And it's really unfortunate when the economy tanked, you know, in the early 2000s, and especially when we had the recession in 2008. All but one had closed up. The one that was the biggest was called Pheasant Farms, and the gentleman just retired this past year, and it closed about 6 months ago. So unfortunately, it's there are no antique stores there anymore. And it's really funny because if you look at the sign going into the town, it says Green New York, an arts and antiques community. Well, they still have the art stores there, but no more antique shops. And that's just the way everything's going now. I mean, the gentleman that retired that closed the Pheasant Farms, he actually moved down to, I think, Boca Raton, Florida. And he is still in the antique business, but he does everything online because it's just too expensive to have a storefront nowadays. When you have eBay, Amazon, I mean, you cut your overhead by at least 70% just selling online. So I guess that's the way America's going now. But so that's how you say the internet can be a good thing, but it also can be a necessary evil. Got a lot of melting action going on right now. Luckily, newer development, we have good drainage. Check that out, guys. You can see the flow of that. Sure, it'll be twice as bad when it starts melting next week, the stuff we're going to get tonight. As you can see, some people, their grass is totally uncovered for the most part, but yet over here where the tree covers it, you hardly see any grass. It's kind of interesting. I think it has to do also with the way the wind hits it too. See, they're going to have problems because all this is going to ice up tonight, and then we're going to add the snow on top of that. So this is really going to get packed down. This is going to take a long, long time to melt. Got some Christmas light action going on here. It's kind of interesting, being that it's almost March. I guess they forgot to take them down. I'm not sure why they're still plugged in. You know, I always thought we took a while to take ours down. We don't take ours down usually till February, but I have seen some people leave them up all year long. Well, as you can see, we're about halfway through our walk. Probably going to do one more segment before I end it. If there's something interesting, of course, I'll always film it. Be back with you guys in a couple of minutes. All right, we're back home. There really wasn't anything else interesting to film. So you can see it's getting dark and it is getting cold. There's definitely snow in the air. And there's one thing I want to do before I go in, and something I've seen a lot of people do down here. I want to go ahead and pull my wipers away from the windshield. That way, if I need them one morning, they're not frozen to it, especially with the temperatures we're going to have around here. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. I guess I have to lift them up a little bit. We'll have to do that a little bit later because I don't have the keys with me. This is going to be it for the walking vlogger today. Probably for about a week or so until the weather gets better. Thank you guys for coming on this journey with me. Please remember to like and subscribe. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.